Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Show. So happy to have you with me this evening, right at 7 p.m. on the East Coast. And it is Tuesday, and I was on earlier today, but I have returned. Yes, I have returned for a second show in one day. Why? I want to punish myself will be the reason, I guess, but I'm doing it anyway, so maybe you'll be happy. We'll see. I want us to think about left and right Wokescolds, neocons, establishment people. How about that? Maybe it's better. Establishment people. Maybe that's better. The establishment people that I have been seeing so much. People had asked me to make a comment on the Douglas Murray and Dave Smith debate that happened on Joe Rogan a week or two ago, whenever it was. I think 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. And a lot of people did. It was popular. Maybe I should have, but it was 2.5 hours long. For me to do that, I would have been a 6-hour show to actually go through it and walk down its road. I thought, I don't really want to do that. And would you even watch it? I mean, maybe you would. It'd be kind of fun, I guess. But I thought maybe a better way of doing it would be instead to look at somebody else, right? To look at somebody else who had a comment on it. And then look at someone else who could give us another insight to it. I thought that might be more interesting. And I found someone. That person is Sam Harris. Sam Harris, for those who don't know, was or still is kind of a noted atheist, very much about reason and logic. I think he's a neuroscientist, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's a neuroscientist, author, and also a absolutely elitist, like there's no tomorrow. He is smarter than you, and don't think that he isn't, because he is. And he will tell you. Absolutely. So, yes, Dave says, what's a Wokescold? I think you mean a Wokescold. A Wokescold, I actually got that, believe it or not. I heard later where it came from, but I got the concept of a Wokescold from, believe it or not, Vosh, the left-leaning podcaster who really hates Trump. Like, oh my God, does he hate Trump? Like, it's a problem. Like, he hates Trump so much, it's a problem. For him, I think, and for everyone. And he talks about people who are so busy trying to scold you because you're not woke enough. That's all they do. And he calls them Wokescolds. It's like another Wokescold, a bunch of Wokescold people just want to, you need to say the words the right way, that type of stuff. And I heard later from Dan from the internet, in case you guys have seen me, he's been on my show before. Dan is also left-leaning. And he said that actually came from Ben Shapiro. I believe Dan. I don't know that, but I believe Dan. So I'm going to say it comes from Ben Shapiro, but I got it from Bosch. So that's what a Wokescold is. I think we know what a neocon is, but yeah. Anyway, so he's supposed to be the guy who's rational and all those things, but he's kind of a Wokescold. And all of a sudden, now he's a neocon, I guess, because he has decided, I think he just loves establishment. That could be it. But he's going to talk about the Douglas Murray, Joe Rogan, and Dave Smith issue, I guess, show, and how unhappy he is. Now, this is a guy who hates Trump like there's no tomorrow. And I mean, if TDS had a spokesperson, it would be him. That's how much he is. And for some reason, he's also a neocon, I guess, because he is all about the wars in Ukraine and Gaza. All about it. Like, all about it. Absolutely. So anyway, I want to show you, this is him on his show saying what he believes. Again, his show that he's being interviewed by his guy, just to be clear. His show, his guy, he is talking right now. All righty.
All right. It's time to get back to our friend Douglas Murray, who, by the way, will be on the podcast with you later this week. Promoting
our friend, the noted neocon, the guy who, I'm not joking, Douglas Murray literally wrote the book on a neocon. He wrote a book called Why we need neoconservative. I wish I was making that up.
His book called Democracies and Death Cults. And I'm sure you'll be discussing his appearance on the Rogan podcast, which
Yes, he will, I'm sure.
was
Yeah.
incredible. So
It's
we don't have to
incredible.
go crazy here, but I certainly want to hear your reactions and see
So what did he think about that?
if you have anything to say, which
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know you do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the most incredible thing
Okay.
for me was the result of it. Right. I mean, Douglas
So-
was great. You know, I
Douglas was great as he just neoconned everything, as he just validated every bomb ever, every murder ever. He just validated them all as long as it's American or Western. He was just great as he just scolded everyone for not being good enough.
you know, I think
Okay.
I might disagree with a couple of things he said,
Mhm.
and I think I might have taken a slightly different line in that conversation. But
Yep.
in many respects, he was much better than I would have been in having that conversation too. So there's just
Mhm.
I thought he was spectacular, and
Spectacular. Yet, what are you going to say? What did everyone else think?
yet it was obvious from the beginning that the conversation was going to fail as an intervention, right? I mean,
It was an intervention. He actually used that phrase just now, an intervention. Yes, it's an intervention. Because you know what? Douglas Murray, he should tell people what's right. He should have intervened like Sam Harris could have intervened.
because of who Joe and Dave are, because of the audience.
See, he had to intervene because of who Joe and Dave are. These people don't know anybody. So yes, absolutely. Kazon, you notice, yes, my shirt. Larry's shirt says, support our troops, bring them home, help them heal. Hold on. That's what it says. Here we go. All right, here we go. Support our troops, bring them home, help them heal. That is my Sharpe shirt. Yes, it was one I actually put together when I ran for governor. I put that one together, and now we use it for Sharpe also. It's one of my, yes, that's one of my favorite shirts. One of my most popular ones, by the way.
Audiences they've cultivated. If you look at the response, I mean, I haven't done this in recent days, but in the immediate aftermath, I think when it had some hundreds of thousands of views on
Yeah.
YouTube,
What
I
happened?
looked at the comments, and
Right.
I mean, at that time, maybe things have changed. I can't imagine, but it was 100%. I mean, not even 99%, 100% against Douglas. Right? Douglas
Yes.
was just a pompous asshole.
Yes.
Just arguing from authority.
Yes.
There's no value in what he said. I can't believe
Yes.
Joe even had him on.
Now, what he just said is the comments were 100%, his words, that Murray was bad, that he was a bad guy, that he argued, that his arguments were just from authority. That's it. 100%. His words, not mine, 100%. Yet he goes, he was great. This intervention couldn't work. Okay, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, by the way, in case you don't know, doesn't only have like Trumpsters watching him. He has literally millions of people watching him. Clearly, the 12 to 13 million people who watch him aren't all rabid Trump supporters. Clearly. But according to this guy here, he knows better than all 12 million. I wish I was joking, but he does. He knows better than all 12 million. He said 100%. They were all said that. Clearly, they're all wrong, and he's right. And I wish I was joking, but he honestly believes that. He honestly believes that. So, Super Weapons, thank you for the 499. Sam Harris and Douglas Murray are intellectual crash outs. What the kids are calling retards back in the day. Correct. Accurate statements with Weapons, 100%. He is in trouble. He is absolutely in trouble. He is broken. By the way, Missy says she owns this shirt too. It is a cool shirt. Yes. Phil goes on to say, Sam needs an intervention. He's been spiraling. He's been spiraling for years. And I will show this in a moment. I've got more. It is terrible. I mean, it's bad. By the way, thank you for the super chat, guys. If you want your chat to go right to the front, and I will put it right to the front. If you super chat me on YouTube or rant me on Rumble, either of those two would be great. If you can super chat or rant me, you're going to become a member. I'll try to grab members first whenever I can. YouTube members, $49 per month. Click that join button if you would. Or on Rumble, also $49. Click that subscribe button. If you're watching on Facebook, you can also click subscribe too if you want to help out and become a member. Membership does help tremendously. Thank you so much, guys, if you can. But no matter what, you know what I'm going to ask you. You know what to do. Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. Yes. The button known as like. Do that now, please. If you haven't, I guess you, I don't know, hate the children. Is that what I always say? What do I say? Something. You believe in, there's, I don't know. You believe that there's WMD someplace. There we go. Yes. You need an intervention from Sam Harris. That's what you need. If you don't click the like button, you need an intervention from Sam Harris. And I'm going to call him and have him come over. All right.
Dave Smith's a genius, right? I mean, that was the center of narrative.
Yeah, Dave Smith's a genius because Dave Smith is really smart. I don't know if he's a genius. He might be, but he's very smart. That's for sure. And yes, and he's laughing. It's like, yeah, he's stupid people who think he's smart. Psh.
Gravity there. Obviously, all of that is completely delusional.
All 12 million people deluded. All of them. The guy who's not, this guy right here. See, he's not deluded. He's not. Those other people who watch Joe Rogan, those literally tens of millions of people, deluded, all of them. His words, 100%, all of them. This guy, he's good. He's good.
And
yeah,
symptomatic of the problem, that we have in our culture, and the problem that Joe has created for himself over there with his immense audience. Right? I mean,
see, do you hear the? It's funny. It's so smart. It's stupid, and I mean this with as much disrespect as I possibly can provide. I mean this disrespectfully. He's just problem he's created with his immense audience. You know, having an immense audience, not really a problem. I mean, just not. I wish I had an immense audience. I have a very cool, super smart audience, that's for sure, but it's not immense. I would like to have an immense audience that he could maybe call delusional, and have a problem. I would love that. His words, again, I'm using his words. The big problem that he's created for himself with this immense audience. I would like to have that problem. Look, I tell you what, Joe Rogan, if you happen to be watching, and I really hope you are, you really hope you are. I hope you're watching, and you're seeing that you have this immense problem now with this immense audience. I'll tell you what, give me the audience. I will sacrifice for you. I will take your problem away from you and grab your immense audience. I will do that because I care.
Joe has cultivated that audience. Joe is, in some sense, a part of his audience, right? He's
true.
His reaction to Douglas in the moment, when Douglas was trying to perform an intervention on him, pointing out the obvious fact that he has played footsie with some very dangerous conspiracy theories.
See, he's played footsies with dangerous. You will hear people like him say dangerous all the time. Yet everything they do is not dangerous. Like lockdowns, not dangerous. He talks about conspiracy theories. If he has them, totally fine. Anybody else, not good. Right? So whatever anyone else does is bad. Him, he's right.
He has had people like Daryl Cooper on the podcast and not had the searching conversation that was ethically necessary in the aftermath of Daryl Cooper's appearance on Tucker.
See, this is what you're not getting, guys. You guys aren't understanding that there are certain conversations that once you have the horrible, dangerous person known as Cooper, who's horrible and dangerous, he's dangerous. Once you have that guy on, there is something that's ethically required to have a conversation afterwards, and who decides when that's true? Well, he does, of course, with a straight face. He honestly believes it.
Carlson, he didn't, he can use the phrase sunlight is the best disinfectant, and perhaps it is, but
it is. So everybody says sunlight is the best disinfectant, but not when I don't want stuff to be known.
But he brought none of it to that conversation, and he brings none of it to any conversation where he hasn't done his homework in advance so as to detect the lies and
so as to prejudge everything as you would have done. So he's bad because he doesn't prejudge everything as you do and decide what is right and correct before you hear the person speak, which is what he does. And again, this isn't a troll. This guy honestly believes everything he's saying. And he's famous and he's smart and makes tons of money. And he does have, less and less, but he does have an audience of people who think this guy's great. Sam Harris said it, so that must be awesome. He does have an audience of people. They're almost all just Democrats. Establishing Democrats. They're not any actual left-leaning Democrat does not support him, but established Democrat loves him. He's an establishment elite hack.
The delusions of his guest, right? He didn't do it with Trump. He doesn't do
because Trump's deluded. They're all deluded. Everyone who doesn't think this is the book his next book should be. Everyone who doesn't think like I am is deluded.
Do it with people like RFK Jr. I mean, he just he's not.
Which ironically, he did it here with Douglas, who's an
Oh, yeah.
expert. So he brought on a
No.
non-expert to counterbalance him.
Listen, if you
He brought on the non-expert Dave Smith, because Dave Smith's never talked about this ever before. All Dave Smith's facts, every one of Dave Smith's facts were wrong except, none of them. Right? Except for none of them, they were all wrong. Right? Now, did Murray actually say anything that made sense? Here or there. But when he was trapped, what did he do? Dodge. I'll give you what Dave's problem was. Dave did make an error. I think Dave gave him far too much respect. That's what I think. Now, he may disagree, but I think that Dave gave him far too much respect and should have, every time he dodged, said something like this. Okay, so I'm right. I would have said like 45 times. Murray dodged like 3, 4, 5, 10 times during the entire conversation. As he dodged, once he left, you should say, okay, great. So we're done. I'm right on that one. And make Murray to come back or laugh it off and walk away. Now noting, yes, I'm right on that one. That was the one thing I think Dave could have done better. I think he gave him too much respect. When someone comes at you and they're just strawmanning you, and when someone comes at you and their goal is just to win, they don't care about truth, you have to turn how you talk with them, right? And Sam doesn't care. Sam has
get across the table from Joe and you don't have your facts straight about MMA, or you're going to say something bad about marijuana, he's going to crush you, right?
Because he's an expert in MMA and is a commentator in MMA and would know virtually unless you were somehow directly involved in MMA, the odds of you knowing more about MMA than Joe Rogan, slim. I mean, slim, right? So of course he would. Of course he would. If I'm interviewing somebody and talking about something like libertarianism that I've been around for, now over 10 years, 13 years, and I've been deeply involved, run for office as one, I'm going to be able to tell you what's up with that. I am. But other things I may not be able to.
He'll crush you in 5 seconds, and he will never let up until you start making sense. And if you don't, the conversation's over, right? I mean, like, maybe he'll change the subject politely, but you're never coming back. And he will make no secret of the fact that he thinks you're a moron, right? He doesn't do that when Daryl Cooper, the podcast.
These guys are so, and be very clear, why do these guys attack Cooper so much? To be very forward with you, and I'm not trying to be flippant at all, I'd never heard of him until this. Never heard of the guy. Never heard of him. He's more famous now because of these idiots. I'd never heard of him before. I'm not being flippant. It's not my world, right? It's not my world. It's not things that I watch. I'd never heard of it before. I only watch Joe Rogan when you guys tell me to watch him. He's on every day. I can't watch him every day, right? So, but when you guys say, hey, that's what I watch. I watch when you guys tell me to watch. None of you guys told me to watch Cooper, so I didn't. I'm not even making that up. That's literally true. So I didn't watch it. I never heard of the guy. Now I've heard of him. Because these guys, they could have just said nothing if he's so bad and so evil, right? Not just that. The guy's basically just a fun guy. Now, he says crazy stuff. That's true. Lots of people do. I'm not mad at him for it. Why is he saying this? You know the real reason? Because Sam is insulted. Sam Harris's ego is bruised. This is true. That's why he's saying so much. His ego is bruised. What's happening right now is he's saying, why does this guy get on Joe Rogan to say stuff and I don't? How come I don't have this immense audience? Don't get me wrong. I'm jealous of Joe Rogan's audience too. I am totally jealous of it. But I'm not pretending that, well, I'm so elite and smarter than Joe. And I'm not doing that. I am literally jealous of it and I wish I had it. I just said so, right? So while I may be a little jelly, I will say it open. I'm not slamming Joe for it. Good for him. I want it too, right? I want it too. I wish Sam Harris wanted to come on my show and was jealous because he can't come on my show. Sam, if you're watching, you can come on my show. I don't mind. I'm saying I wish I had it. So yeah. And these guys are just going, his ego is broken, is bruised, and he's jelly. That's the problem.
Host and amateur historian who he really admires gets on there and starts spouting David Irving's fake Holocaust history.
Not true.
Because he doesn't know that he's doing that, right? He hasn't prepared himself to do that. And he doesn't.
Or maybe he doesn't care. And maybe someone showing some alternate. Is there anyone who cares about this? who like pays attention, right? Who thinks, oh, okay, this guy who I've never heard of before says that whatever about World War II and the camps is not true or whatever. Oh, wow. Now I think it's not true. Is that what happens? Is that what happens?
See the liability of talking to a entirely self-taught, enthusiast of taboo history.
Okay, John says Sam was on JRE 6 years ago. I know, and he hasn't been back on, and he's jealous. I was on 7 years ago. I want to be back on Tro. So yes, again, I'm jelly also. I don't mind it. I'm not attacking Joe because of it. I'm not acting like I'm better than him or something. I'm not doing that. And I'm not mad at him. Good for you, Joe. Bring on the people. Get big, get huge. Good for you, right? I hope I'll be as big as you. Bring me back on, by the way. If you're listening, I want it back on. My point being, I was on too. So?
And not being prepared to push back against it, right? I mean, it's easy. Again, it's easy to see the source of the confusion because there's this basic assumption that there can be nothing wrong in having, quote, good faith, good-natured conversation with somebody and just getting their view of the world, right?
Listen to what he just said. There's this crazy thing, it's insane, about listening to people and getting their view of the world. And he's like, that's stupid. He's like, that's stupid.
What could be wrong with that? And
yes, what could be wrong with that? What could be wrong with that?
I mean, Lex Friedman, while he has a slightly different approach, I mean, I criticized Lex in the last podcast too.
Yeah.
He was very annoyed to be wrapped up in the same sentence with Joe. And perhaps that was to some degree unfair because my gripe with Lex is slightly different. I mean, it's not that Lex
what is it?
Does no preparation. I mean, he obviously does.
Okay, so preparation is
I think
key.
he tweeted, he got on Twitter and read me the Riot Act and said he does more preparation than 99% of journalists. I mean, we might doubt that, but it's just that what he doesn't do with all that preparation is actually effectively push back against people who really need to hit a brick wall at that point.
See, these people need to hit a brick wall. My question I would ask, Sam, is how do you decide who needs to hit a brick wall? Who decides that? Oh, wait. Yeah, I know. You do. That's who. You and your elitists do. The elite smugness that comes out of this man is so unattractive that you have to also be an elitist to actually like it. Because if you are an elitist, you think you're him. You think, yeah, us people, we know better. Quiet, we know better than these peasants. That's what you think. So you watch this and go, yeah, these dumb people who aren't as smart as us. We all have like PhDs and stuff. So we're better than them. That's who watches him and thinks this is a great idea. Everyone else goes, wow, what a pompous ass you are. Huh. Yes, he would decide that. Or there's another option. You could possibly just let people say what they want to say and trust that the individual person would listen and then decide, wait, this guy is full of garbage, or this guy's not. Or someone like me will come on and point to people who are full of garbage. Maybe somebody else will do that. You could let the market do it, or you could just gatekeep like everybody else and see how that works. How's that work so far? Oh, it hasn't. In fact, what has it done? It's kept you off of Joe's show, and you're jealous. It's okay. I'm jealous too, man. It's okay.
The conversation. He platforms people he shouldn't platform.
Platforms people. Oh, this is the Wokescold. This is the Wokescold word of the day. Platforming people. You can't talk to these people. You platform them. Like Bill Maher. Bill Maher can't go talk to Trump because he's platforming him. They're all getting platformed. And you can't platform them because people might hear their views. And then all of a sudden, because people are just totally would just fall for anything. So the second you put a guy up there, they're all going to do it. So someone shows up and I say, all the people of the world are actually chipmunks. And everybody goes, yes, we're all chipmunks. It's true because some guy was platformed. If that's true, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe platforming Mr. Human Chipmunk guy is the wrong thing to do. And when I do it and I platform him on my massive platform, my immense platform that I will one day have, and I actually do this, and I have the chipmunk guy there, will people just go, oh my God, Say they did. Then shouldn't I just have another conversation with someone else or talk about it and have a chat? And if it seems pretty stupid that humans are actually chipmunks, people will go, yeah, that's kind of dumb. Could be.
You know, Kanye West is the example I really, publicly whinged about.
But even when he pushes back, even if he pushes back with words and you ask questions,
Yeah.
if this was the podcast election, what that really meant was over time, a few hours, you humanize somebody. And if the vibes are good, even if
you humanize somebody, don't do that. Do you hear what they're saying? They're literally saying, if you disagree with me on your facts or your history, you should not be humanized. Again, his words, not mine. He just said that.
Pushing back and you're hanging out, sitting across from one another, the energy is going to be such that the audience is led to believe that this can't be too bad of a person, no matter what you say.
And you want to make sure they're a bad person, don't you? Literally what Wokescolds do. I tell you all the time, they must dismiss disrespect. Constantly. That's their job. Dismiss disrespect. That's what it is. So, goodbye. And he's like, you can't do that. You can't humanize people who have different views than you. You can't platform people who have different views than you. You can't do that. That's bad. They're openly saying this. This is on his podcast. He's openly saying this.
And so there's some responsibility there that even if you're going to have journalistic integrity.
And by the way, he means this about Dave Smith. Just to be clear, he means this about Dave Smith. He's saying that Sam Harris and him are both saying that guys like Joe Rogan should not humanize Dave Smith, should not make them anything but a bad person. Why is Dave Smith, in this guy's eyes, not a human or a bad person? Because he doesn't agree with him politically. That seems kind of weird in a way, because Dave Smith is Jewish. And do you really want to dehumanize Jews? I don't. They've had a little bit of history. It did not go well for anybody, especially them. So how about we don't do that? That has a history of not going well for anybody, especially the Jews. So how about we don't do that? But he's okay with it. Literally, just said it. Dehumanize them. Who cares? What could go wrong? Let's dehumanize a group of people. What could go wrong? Again, not my words. You just heard him say.
And say, push back wherever is necessary. It's really hard when you're smiling and giggling in between questions, and there's nice moments to be had. Even if you say, look, let's just agree that this was a bad idea, and I think you lied on that one or whatever. They're going to find something 2 minutes later because it's just a hang. And those hangs are effective in sane washing or humanizing people.
See that? You don't want to sane wash. His words, sane wash. You're sane washing or humanizing people. He's against humanizing people. Let me be very clear. He just said it. He is against humanizing people. He said it twice, not once. He wanted to double down. He said, no, Larry, come on now. Come on now. I didn't mean dehumanize. Oh, no, I meant that. Oh, I totally meant that. I said it twice. He's pro dehumanization. And then he wants to sane wash people. Oh, don't sane wash them. Let everyone know they're crazy. So Dave, if you happen to be watching, my friend, I'm sorry. I am. I didn't know you were crazy, but clearly you are. And the only reason why I figured out that you weren't crazy, I thought you weren't crazy, is because sadly, Joe Rogan clearly sane washed you. If it wasn't for that, I would actually know that you're crazy. So I'm sorry I thought you were sane. That's because Joe Rogan sane washed you. You're absolutely crazy. Go get help. And how you'll know you're not crazy is when you think exactly like Sam Harris. When you think just like Sam Harris, you will no longer be crazy. So go get help. When you think like Sam Harris, you will be cured. Until then, I must personally apologize. I didn't realize you were crazy. I fell for the sane washing. That's a word. They're using special words now. This is Wokescold stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't have it both ways. I mean, many of these podcasters celebrated, the 2024 election as the podcast election.
Yep.
But that was really just to claim that these podcasts had been instrumental in changing public opinion, right? I mean, in getting Trump elected. People saw his humanity. They saw he's a real guy who can just hang and who can talk about it.
They saw his humanity. You can't have that. Did we cover this already? Grace, we've covered this already, Grace. You don't get to be human. We've discovered with Grace, get with the program. Sam Harris is smarter than you. He's like a PhD or something. So he's better than you. And he's decided that you can't be humanizing people. So stop it already. Nothing's ever gone wrong in a history of humans when you dehumanize people, except every single time. With the exception of every single time, nothing ever goes wrong when you dehumanize people. Absolutely. Yes. 100%. Michael says, over Pete's sake, sane wash. Please to God, keep that out like that. Oh, no. I am using that every day now. I'm like, I am personally putting that in to our daily conversations, sane wash. Yes, literally sane wash. Absolutely. Grace says, Black people have history of dehumanization in America. So no wonder. So wonder what he thinks of you, Clarence Thomas, Tim Scott, and Big Boy. Well, he will dehumanize us. All good, Grace. Dehumanize away. Sarah, thank you for being a member. All these new words. Yes, because when you don't have an argument, you just make up new words. That's it. I love the word salad. I love the word salad. Yes. Superweapon says, with the exception of every single time. Golden. Yes, that's my thing. Yes. Works every time with the exception of every single time. That's it. Otherwise, it works perfectly. Yes. So let's keep going.
Anything. He's not afraid, but Kamala Harris is afraid to go on Rogan's podcast. And that was scored against her pretty heavily, right? She's just.
Yes. Okay. It's almost like he doesn't see himself at all. Like he has no way of seeing himself at all. None. Like zero self-awareness. He says, and then they held, Harris against Harris for not going on. Yes. Yes. But hold on. Earlier, if he said, what he said earlier was, remember when he saw Dave Smith and Douglas Murray and their debate, everyone there watching was, in his words, just, delusional. He said they were all delusional because they all said how smart Dave was and how bad Douglas was. He said all delusional. That's what he said. Well, if that's true, why should it matter if Harris goes on? It shouldn't, right? Because all those people are delusional. That's what he said. He said they're all delusional. If they're all delusional, well, then why do you care? Yeah, doesn't make any sense, does it? And then he goes, and they held us back. Why? Why did they hold it against him?
Just got canned talking points, and she's so terrified to touch all the third rails, set up by the woke intelligentsia that she's going to be tongue-tied on any topic that would otherwise humanize her.
Yes. It's he thinks if he explains why he's terrible and wrong, it makes him not wrong. Right? So if I just tell you why I'm wrong, I'm all of a sudden not wrong. Okay, look, Phil, I went and I stole your car. I did. I went there on a Thursday night because I knew you wouldn't be there, right? I knew you were busy Thursday night. So I knew I could steal your car then. And I was too lazy to buy my own car. So I thought I'd just steal yours. So I went and I broke the window and I hotwired the car and I took off. That's what I took it. All right. So now I'm safe. No, I still stole your car. It's not all of a sudden good because I explain it. I've explained what I did and why. It's still, right? It's still bad. He's like, well, I've explained why Harris is terrible. Therefore, she's not terrible. No. She's still terrible.
She can't even risk turning on the microphone with someone like Joe.
Yes.
To say it was the podcast election is to say that those conversations mattered, right?
They did matter. He just said so. This guy. Wow. I am blown away by this guy. Phil, you said he's spiraling? He already spiraled. He's already in the toilet already. He's already there. It's wow.
And they did matter. I totally agree it was the podcast election. And so
you agree with everything?
Mattered that none of these guys, not Joe, not even Lex, though he actually did try a little bit in his interview with Trump, not Andrew Schultz, not the all-in guys, no one, not Theo Vaughn, right? No one did what any sane and responsible journalist would have done, would have had.
See, sane. These, it's funny. When I was on with Joe Rogan, I didn't think he was crazy, but now I know. I'm glad Sam has made that clear for me. Now I know. Crazy. All these guys are crazy because none of them are sane. He's already said so. Again, his words. I'm not making this up. His words, sane. That's the problem. Huh. Okay. That's the reason. I thought these guys were not, I thought they were regular, but no, they're clearly insane. Okay, look, Sam, tell me which ones I got to go on. I don't get it.
To have done in one of those encounters, which is to push back against Trump's odious, divisive, dangerous lies. Right.
See, yours aren't. Theirs are. See that? I know you were thinking, you were saying, wait a minute, this guy sounds like he's alive. No. He is better than all of us.
Right, which are well established. This is not
Tell me
my opinion. Right.
This
is not a topic about which there can be a credible difference of opinion.
There can't be a difference of opinion on Trump. What's wrong with you? You people who have different opinions on Trump. Okay, he just said that. You know what, Sam, you're right. We shouldn't have had an election. That was dumb of us. Or maybe it was insane of us. We shouldn't have an election. Of course not. We should have had an election because this guy says that there is absolutely, you can't have a different opinion on Trump. That's not possible. Clearly you are insane. And if you're insane, you probably shouldn't be able to vote, right? That's what Sam would say. Don't vote because you're insane. Because if you have a different view on Trump, clearly you're insane. If you're a podcast who doesn't hate Trump, you're insane. Again, his words. Every one of Joe Rogan's commenters, he said delusional. His words, 100%, they were all delusional. That's what he said. You heard me say that. I copied him. This the guy be watching. Heading over at Rumble, and Sheridan says, please don't sanewash me. My friends won't like me anymore. I thought I was sane. I got to go get sanewashed first. So I'm going to go see if I'm going to call up Sam, see if he'll sanewash me first. Then once he's sanewashed me, then I'll be sane. Then I'll come over and maybe, oh no, wait a minute. Sanewashing is a bad thing, right? I don't know. This is new vocabulary for me. So I got to figure this out. Wait, sanewashing is when someone makes someone who has a different opinion on Trump sound like they're regular. That's what sanewashing is. I'm sorry, no, be clearer. Sanewashing is when someone disagrees with what Sam says, because Sam Harris is the authority and he can intervene. That's his words. He can intervene on you. And so when that happens, if you don't believe him and someone makes you look like you're regular and not insane, because if you don't believe what he thinks, you are insane, then you are sanewashed. Okay, got it. Oh, look, we're learning together. All of us are today. We're all learning together what's going on. I'm glad. So yes. Texas Spy Historian says, this is at Texas Spy. I'm sorry. He says, trigonometry is part of the sanewashing process. I have some of that to show you also. Let me finish with this and we'll go there. We will go there.
Man has lied about everything under the sun. And there's just a clear track record. And to take the most consequential, the big lie that he won the 2020 election, right? That it was stolen from him.
Yep.
That Joe Biden was a fraudulent president because of he stole the election. That was a dangerous lie that he still hangs over our society like a sword of Damocles, right? It's still a provocation to political violence. And one of the most depressing things about the election night in 2024 was not that Trump won. I mean, that was depressing, from my point of view. But the genuinely scary thing, and I said this at one point on a podcast, is that there was a moment in the evening where Kamala Harris still could have won, right? The so-called so-called blue wall states hadn't.
So there was a chance that she could have won, and Trump stopped that. Okay, let's figure that one out. How did Trump stop that one? Tell me. What happened?
Fallen yet, right? I think at that point the New York Times was giving her an 11% chance of winning.
11%. I guess it's a chance, kind of maybe, but go ahead.
So it was in the realm of possibility for her to win, and many of us recognized at that point that given all the lying, given that even Elon Musk at that point was lying about voting irregularities and fraud, obvious fraud, in Pennsylvania, I think, it would have been dangerous for her to have won at that point. It was not safe for her to have won a free and fair.
Okay, to be clear, he believes that because the New York Times, the evening of Election Day, said it was an 11% chance for Harris to win. He just said, again, this is out of his mouth, that she had a chance of winning, but because of the lies, she didn't. He said that. And the other people are delusional, not him. The other people, not him, are delusional. He just said, you heard him say it. It's 11%. New York Times said 11%. So she was going to win, but then there was lies. Okay, that's what he just said. Okay. Now he's saying, well, she couldn't win because it would have been dangerous for her to win. Damn, everything dangerous with him. It's all dangerous. I'm trying to remember, who did they try to kill twice? Oh, right, Trump. Huh. Weird. How come it's dangerous for everybody except for the guy who they tried to kill twice? Not once, twice, and once hit him. Weird. How everybody else is dangerous for everybody, but not the guy who they literally tried to kill twice and once hit him. Another dude died. A father died when they tried to kill him. But it's dangerous for Harris. That's the problem, right? Kamala Harris. That's dangerous. They tried to kill her. Oh, right, never. Yes, they tried to kill her never. Not once. Yeah, but it's dangerous for her. He just said that. Do you see how delusional this guy is? And he's talking about people being delusional. Pot, meat, kettle.
Election at that moment, given the messaging, right? We would have had an explosion of political violence coming from the right. I'm absolutely convinced of it.
The right would have done it. I'm trying to remember all those right wingers who went. This might take some time, guys. I'm going to list all of the right wingers who did violence against the politicians last year. Finished. Didn't happen last year. Didn't happen. The guy who got shot wasn't the left guy. I don't know.
Because of what Trump had done for 4 years, the way he had lied about the lack of integrity of our.
See, you were thinking, I know you were thinking violence in America because people are unhappy, because people don't have good jobs, because people feel nothing changes, people aren't finding friendships, men are checking out, people are on drugs, they're distressed, all those things. No, it's because what Trump did 4 years ago. Okay? You guys thinking that people are unhappy because they're maybe unsure about the economy, maybe their family's broken up, maybe they can't find the right girlfriend or boyfriend, maybe they don't like their job, maybe they're in financial distress, maybe they have family or friends who have addiction problems or mental health problems, maybe they have addiction problems, mental health problems, right? Maybe the lockdown screwed up their kids, maybe they got medical issues. No, stop that. All right, John, stop that trash. No, the reason is because what Trump did 4 years ago. He said that. You just heard him say it. Straight face. Just said it. And he thinks he's not the problem.
Our electoral system. Joe Rogan, the All In guys, Lex Friedman should have pushed really hard on that point. That was the only responsible thing to do.
There was nothing else responsible but that. They were totally irresponsible.
They did nothing like that.
What's funny is he says this straight face. He says this 100%. He says this like everything's regular. This is the way it should be. That's how he says it. This is the way
so it was the podcast election. What they did is they gave him a dozen hours practically of free media exposure to tens of millions of people, wherein they worked very hard to midwife the most humanizing conversation possible. They just created a good hang with the guy.
Well, okay. You could have, in theory, just hear me out. Harris could have gone on all those same podcasts, every one of them, if she wanted to. Every one of them, if she wanted to. She chose not to, and that's the podcast guy's fault. What he just said, She could have gone on every one of those. She did not. She chose no. And that is somehow the podcast guy's fault. He actually believes that. He does. John, brother, thank you so much for the $9.99. Appreciate it. The super chat's amazing. I want to ask you guys, if you like what I'm saying, if it makes sense to you, if you're enjoying it, click the button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. Please do so. I'm not seeing all of them being clicked. If you look, I bug you on this because I want others to, I want us to grow. I want to one day have that immense audience that Joe Rogan has. I'm openly jealous. I'm just not mad at Joe for it. He can do what he wants, and I'm glad he's doing a good job. Well done for him. I want to get up in there too. So if you click the like button, Mr. Rhythm, you know that guy. His first name is Al. His middle name is Gore. Last name is Rhythm. He loves it when you click that button. So click it. Please do so. Also share and repost this. Repost this in other Facebook pages. Repost this on X. Share it wherever you want. Cut and paste it all over the place. Please do that. If you haven't followed me, please follow me. And most importantly, if you have not gone to Sharpe Way YouTube and subscribed, I don't know why you need sane washing. You do. I'm going to sane wash you. Is that an insult? I'm not sure, but I'm doing it if you don't do that. So please go do it. If you want your chat to go right to the front, easy. Super chat me on YouTube or rant me on Rumble. But not just that. If you become a member, I try to grab members first, the best of my ability. Become a member on YouTube by clicking join, or on Rumble by clicking subscribe. I see a lot of members up here. I grab them whenever I can. Please do that. It does matter tremendously. And here's the best part about members. If you're a member, you can send me a video and I'll react to it. Well, I get a lot of them. I'll react to one of them. I'm doing it tomorrow. Someone asked me to react to Gary Stevenson, and I'll be reacting to him tomorrow on Taxing the Rich. Why? Because a member asked me to. And I said, okay, so I'm doing that. So please, if you are a member, please submit those reaction videos. I'm happy to react to them. So there we go. I hope that makes sense. So I do appreciate that, guys, tremendously. All right, let me grab a little bit more of this if I could.
And made him look like the celebrity that he is, right? And we can get to Bill Maher in a second, but I mean, that
made him look like the celebrity that he is. Does he understand that what he says makes no sense? He doesn't.
It's the fact that he's a good hang is not relevant given his track record, given what we already know he has done to our politics. And any journalist, I mean, this is why it's so
okay. Clearly, it does matter and is relevant. Whether you look, you may think it shouldn't be, right? You can say it shouldn't be, and that may be true. Maybe it shouldn't be relevant. Okay, I could buy that. That's a realistic thing. You could do that, but clearly it is. He's president. After all this, after the 6 event, the 1-6 event, still president. 34 felonies, still president. Liable for SA, liable for it, still president. All those things. Denied 2020, still president. Everything you said, still president. So clearly it does matter. You don't want it to matter. And that's valid. You can say that. I don't want it to matter. Okay. Doesn't have to. You can say that. But yeah, Andrea, she says it perfectly. Thank you, Andrea, for being a member. Clearly, Sam Harris is an elitist who can't get out of his own echo chamber. Correct. That's the problem. He talked to like the other guy was talking to him, and he says stuff that makes no sense and completely contradicts himself. And they go, yeah, Sam, you're so smart. Am I getting paid this month? I am. Okay, great. Yeah, you are so smart. You're the smartest guy around. My check clear? Okay, yeah. Oh, so smart. Everything you said is amazing. That's what he does. All the people who are like, I have a PhD and no one respects me either. I'm going to watch Sam Harris, and then maybe I'll believe that they're all mad. A lot of people who watch this normally, they use the phrase fools. They use that phrase a lot, like a lot. You'll never understand me, fools. You fools. They use that phrase all the time. There's a whole lot of PhDs who are like, why do I not have all the power? They watch this. That's his audience. That's his audience. And guys like me.
Dangerous.
Fools.
I mean, and irresponsible. The fact that
dangerous and irresponsible. You'll hear dangerous all the time.
The biggest media platforms in the world right now are providing an illusion of long form journalism
It's an illusion of long-form journalism is what that is. Joe Rogan. That's illusion, man. He just told you. It's an illusion. He told you it's an illusion. You thought it was real. It's an illusion of long-form journalism. So where is the actual long-form journalism? Oh, right. It's editing stuff on CBS that got sued. That's where it actually is.
Without any of the sanity-sparing principles of real journalism.
The sanity-sparing principles of real long-form journalism. He just said that. He did. You're like, he just said, yeah, he said that. Yeah. So that's what you need. And he's going to give you that, I think, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get back to Bill yet. I do want to get to him, but what I do want to talk about is maybe while we're here on the podcast, if you can just sharpen up or help clarify some of the confusion around freedom of speech versus responsibility.
Freedom of speech. See that? We got to cover that. I know that Sam is all about freedom of speech. I'm sure that he's all about freedom of speech. Okay. Show us how much you care about freedom of speech, Sam.
And what you are really wanting these platforms to do. And then next, if you can talk about the maybe some confusion around expertise. I do have some more questions.
There's some confusion about expertise. Okay, he's going to clear it up because Sam is smart.
There, but why don't you start with that?
Come on, Sam.
Yeah, well, I mean, so obviously probably the most misunderstood piece of misinformation about me is
this is okay, guys. It's going to come. It's going to be a misunderstood piece of misinformation. He uses misinformation a lot. If you use misinformation a lot, you're an elitist, and you're also full of shit. I'm just saying those two things are true. If you use that a lot, right? You're both.
That I'm in some sense against free speech, right? I mean,
why would someone think you are against free speech? Huh? That's crazy. That's crazy.
That that's been endlessly spun against me on X.
I wonder why that's been endlessly spun against you. Huh? All right, let's figure out why.
I mean, this is what Elon tends to amplify about me. It's totally false, right? It's just not. So let me just unpick this here,
please.
So there are many liberal democracies that seek to regulate speech much more than America does, right? The UK, much of Western Europe, Canada, New Zealand, all of them have more aggressive approaches to what is called hate speech than we do.
True.
I think I'm open to argument on this point, but I think everything I've seen there seems terribly misguided. I think, for instance, laws against Holocaust denial in Western Europe, they can send someone to jail for denying the Holocaust.
Right.
I think that is totally counterproductive and
knocking on people's doors in UK for social media.
I mean, there's completely insane instances of someone will tweet, men.
Okay, look, he's doing well. He's saying that, knocking on people's doors and putting them in jail for saying stuff is not a good idea. Okay, Sam, maybe we got some simpatico part here. Okay, I'm in. Let's do this. I'm feeling better. We got something we can get together on. Let's do it.
And women are women, and they'll get a visit from the police in London, right? I mean, it's just, I don't even know how to think about that. I mean, I hear these specific cases, and they sound like episodes of Black Mirror.
So I think we're agreeing with each other here. Lunatic is in the house. Lunatic, how are you, sir? 99, thank you for that. Larry, why do we validate nonsense? I'll tell you why. We validate nonsense because it makes us feel good. And I've spent literally many years, about 20 years or so, being a trainer and a coach and a teacher, a long time. And I learned about, 10, 15 years ago in that area, that most people don't want to get better. They don't want to feel, they don't want to get better. They don't want to improve themselves. What they want to do is feel better. Most people, that's not all. Until you're ready to get better. Most people need to prepare themselves, and then they're ready to get better, and they'll get better. But until they're ready to make that step, they just want to feel better. So if nonsense will validate me, lunatic, and make me feel better, because I'm not ready to actually be better, I'll validate that nonsense. Of course I will. If I don't get what I want, and I can say, well, it's because lunatic is a libertarian, that's the reason why, it's not my fault, that's nonsense, right? That's not why I don't get what I want. But if Sam Harris, who's a credentialed person, says that, that makes me feel better, I validate it. That's the reason. You asked why? That's why. Military understands communism. Military understands inflicted destruction. Humble, truthful freedom, liberty. Are we the problem? We are the pick-me men, hated. The you are finding a turn on this, Lunatic, and I think it's a positive turn. I think so many people are seeing that hating the masculine man is not productive. You may not prefer to like him. You may think he's too toxic, whatever. It's fine. I mean, you don't have to be around that guy if you don't want to. I get it. But hating and destroying that man is not good, right? It isn't. And I think people are starting to see that. So it is coming around, I think. But yeah, your point is a valid one. I appreciate it. Thank you for that. All right. Patty says, reality is merely an illusion, albeit a persistent one. Albert Einstein. He was quoting Larry. Just quoting. I like that. He was. True. True, Patty. True. I appreciate that.
So all of this is to say that I think we're incredibly lucky in America to have the First Amendment and to have a nearly absolute right to free speech. Right? That is something that I would not want to lose.
I'm glad.
And yet,
and yet, no. Don't do the and yet. You were doing so good. Don't and yet. You were doing good. What do you do? No. Andrea, you called it. Andrea called it. She's like, just wait for the but. He didn't use but because he's smarter than you and me, Andrea. So he used and yet. See, he used a better word than but. See, because he's better than us. That's why he did that. But that's okay. Don't be jelly. He's just better. He's just our better.
There's no relevance to the debates we're having about so-called free speech on.
It has no relevance. So-called free. What happened? He was so good.
Platforms like X, or platforming people on podcasts. Right. My criticism of Joe Rogan. All of that is unrelated to this question of around the primacy of the First Amendment and how good it is that we have it in America.
Okay.
All the First Amendment covers is one's political freedom to think out loud, right? The government cannot jail you or otherwise make your life miserable for thinking out loud on almost any topic, in almost any way, in almost any context, right? Now, there are some exceptions to this, and, consult your local constitutional lawyer for those. But generally speaking, and I think it's even false to say that you can't shout fire in a movie theater, right? I mean, it's like there's wide latitude.
It's true. So, okay, if this is true, what he's saying, why, if it's true, wouldn't you want most organizations, most groups, why wouldn't you encourage them to follow a similar culture of our country when it comes to free speech? Not that required. I think he's right. You don't have to. I don't have to have free speech in my household. I don't have to. I can say certain things, get out. I can, of course. But wouldn't most people say you should be as close to this as possible? Wouldn't that be a desire? Not a requirement, but a desire. He would say no.
That said, all these people who claim to be free speech absolutists are delusional, right? I mean, or lying. I mean, Elon is the
no, they're all delusional.
Antithesis of it. He often calls himself a free speech absolutist. He's nothing of the kind, right? He throws people off X who he doesn't like, journalists and otherwise.
True.
He preferentially boosts his content and deboosts other content. He slavishly follows the rules set down to him by authoritarian regimes the world over, and silences political dissent in places like Turkey, right? I mean, it's just, one would call him a hypocrite, but that would be to suggest that he has principles he's struggling to live by, right?
Man, that's an attack on him, huh?
It's a free-for-all over there, and free speech absolutism has nothing to do with it. What he has done is he's brought back, with great fanfare, certain anti-Semites and white supremacists.
See, that's what it was all about the whole time. That's what it was about the whole time.
But I want to get back to, I don't mean to cut off, but I want to get back to what the difference is when you're saying you don't like that Rogan and other people are platforming. People are confused. They're saying,
I'm getting there. All right. So the point is, everyone is in the curation business, even 4chan, right? That digital sewer.
He's not wrong with that.
Has a moderation policy, right? I mean, it's just there's no place you can go that is a business or anything like a business.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with what he's saying here. He's not wrong on this piece, but the problem is he's not wrong with what he's saying at all. We're all in curation, right? I'm very loose when people say the only things that I will ever ban people if they're actually spamming like buy my stuff. Those people, they go, right? If they're not spamming like buy my stuff or that kind of thing, you can be in my comments. I don't care. You see people in something all the time. I put them up front. I don't care. I'm totally fine, right?
That doesn't have a moderation policy. That isn't isn't faced with the ongoing decision-making process of who to platform and who not to platform. What ideas are worth amplifying? What ideas are worth avoiding, right? Literally, even 4chan is in that business. And that's to say nothing of X or in Facebook. And so it is with every podcast host. Joe Rogan has done thousands of podcasts. He'll do thousands more, presumably. Let's say he does 10,000 over the course of his life. He still has to decide who to platform, right? Who's worth talking to and who isn't.
Yeah, but he said it more than once. He's been very forward on this. Joe Rogan has said this, I don't know, 100 times more. I don't know how many times he said it. I mean, at least 100 times. He puts on his show people that he wants to talk to. That's it. He's not worried about, like, a guy like me who's trying to grow. I might look and say, hey, I want somebody who has a big following to help me grow, right? I might think about that in my world. If I was in the middle tier, I might go, oh, I want to get a big name so I could grow. That would make sense if you're trying to grow. Joe Rogan's the biggest there is. So he could put anybody he wants on. It is irrelevant, right? So absolutely. The issue here is he puts on whoever he wants, that he wants to talk to. That's it. That's how that works. Lunatic, back again for $10. Thank you. Validate skill sets. Cooperation. Emotional people should be prescribed Marcus Aurelius. Security, literally. Anyone not afraid of violence, please, nice. Please unite against control systems. How do you organize that, Lunatic? How do you organize that without hope first? Without an answer, not an answer, wrong word, not answer. With a picture, how about that? Without a picture of what the future is, right? What is the future that I would organize and I would say take action? That's the phrase I'll use. Take action for. If it isn't clear, it's not easy. So again, I get where you're going. And I'm glad you keep talking about it. I platform you all the time. So I put you up all the time. So yes, it's just not there yet. I don't think we're there yet. That's what I would say. All right, we're almost done with this piece.
And those decisions can be made responsibly or not. And I'm really not saying that he shouldn't talk to anyone he wants to talk to. That's not my point. I mean, there are people,
kind of is what you're saying.
People who I think shouldn't be platformed because what Joe would be doing would be plucking them out of obscurity, right, and suddenly making them famous, and that would be a bad thing.
You mean like you did with Cooper?
But
like
that aside, he should talk to anyone he wants to talk to. I'm saying that there are certain people it is irresponsible to talk to unless you do your homework, unless you can provide the sunlight you imagine is going to be a great disinfectant. It's not a good thing for you or your reputation or the world to talk to those people, because what you're doing is you're just giving them access to your highly impressionable audience.
See, your highly impressionable audience. All those people who Joe Rogan listens to, who listen to Joe Rogan, again, he said this earlier, they're all delusional. And now they're highly impressionable. So if they hear something, they're just going to go do it.
Who, if you're not in a position to know when Daryl Cooper is recycling David Irving, you can be assured that most of your audience isn't either.
Daryl Cooper is loving you. If he watches, like, thank you. How many times? Yeah, keep going.
Right. And it's bad. Certainly at this moment where.
The funny part is Sam thinks, he actually believes that if he insults Sam, that somehow the world will go, well, I can't talk to, if he insults Cooper, I can't talk to Cooper. Why? Because Sam Harris told me he's a bad guy. Most people don't care.
We're seeing anti-Semitism explode the world over. It is bad to be recycling David Irving and not knowing.
That's it.
And that's what Daryl Cooper's doing. And maybe I'm reasonably sure Daryl has read Irving directly and knows when he's using him as a talking point. But even there, maybe Daryl doesn't entirely know what he's up to.
Well, maybe Rogan's thinking, look, I got people like Dave Smith on the podcast. I don't remember if Brett Weinstein was on, or others that, for example, during the pandemic seemed to have breaking away from the institutions, the norms, and almost acted as whistleblowers or people that were reporting information that may or may not have been included in whatever the diet was that we were getting. And many people found it helpful. Many people found,
is this guy going to give some pushback? Is he going to say, wait a minute? So what Rogan did was he said some things that were right. Is he going to say that now?
That some of the things that they were saying were being left out. And we were getting utterly confused by the mainstream media. And so here comes Joe thinking, let me find these voices and put them on my platform and do my part.
That makes sense.
And many of the voices he platformed were not worth listening to. And I think it's still true to say that the best estimates are that something like 300,000 people in America died unnecessarily due to vaccine hesitancy, which is to say that.
Look at that. This guy is still defending the COVID regime. Still. He is so elite. He's so elite. He's such an elitist. He will defend that garbage. He will still, I thought Galloway was bad. This guy's worse. He will defend that regime no matter what it is. So people died, so what? So lives were ruined, so businesses were destroyed. The elites were fine. So you plebes, you're done. Who cares?
If everyone took the vaccine who could have taken the vaccine, 300,000 people would be alive today who aren't.
Utterly not true. He made that up. There is zero data that says that. Zero. None.
Right. So that's a bad outcome.
Remember they talked about the idea of what was it? The epidemic of the unvaxxed, whatever it was. Right now, it wasn't true. Made it up. Look at it. See how he looks away? I gotta go back. See how he just looks away when he says it? Because he knows he's lying.
In hesitancy, which is to say that if everyone took the vaccine who could have taken the vaccine, 300,000 people would be alive today who aren't. Right. So that's a bad outcome.
Yeah, look away. Yeah, that's a bad outcome. Yeah. And that's, you know whose fault it is? Joe Rogan. That's your fault, Joe. You killed 300,000 people, according to Sam. Sam says you killed 300,000 people. Joe, think about that. It's your fault. Lunatic, back with the 999. Remember, the vision may not be clear. It comes into focus when true needs are met and illusions are erased. Yeah, the average person in America now needs, okay, the true needs aren't going to be met. The vision is what meets the true needs. Are you with me on this one, Lunatic? That's what, when the vision is right, when people get it, that's when the true need is met. When the purpose is there, that's when the true needs are met. So, and that's when the illusions are erased. So we do need the vision or the mission or the purpose for that to happen. So he goes on to say, we were informed, trained, wise, failed heroes. We will come together truly to save humanity. I think we have to. I'm with you. I agree. But the vision has to be there first. That's got to be first, man. That's my view. Maybe I'm wrong. That's my view. Vision's got to be first.
I think all the people who were not so worried about COVID, but extremely worried about the mRNA vaccines had a hand in creating that environment, right? And that was a bad thing.
They did that.
Yes, the establishment embarrassed itself on many points during COVID.
It did, didn't it? I love how he just explains bad stuff and goes, well, now it's not bad. This is me stealing. This is me stealing Phil's car again. I'm just going to tell you what I did, and then it's good.
But I think that the lessons that people are drawing from that are being highly exaggerated. But nonetheless, it's true.
That's your problem, right, Andrea? You exaggerated the problems. You didn't know what was your problem. Well, now he's told you, Andrea. See, it's because you exaggerated all the problems. There's your problem. Stop exaggerating.
Certain of those moments were obvious, at the outset, and certainly became obvious months and even years later. Right? I mean, the calling the lab leak hypothesis racist was obviously an error and an.
It wasn't obvious at the time, was it? In fact, you shut everybody down and slammed them. You destroyed, literally, his ilk and elites, destroyed my entire social media overnight. Yes, I'm not making that up. Some of you are with me 5 years ago when they did it. 5 years ago this month. Oh, no, last month. 5 years ago last month. When they destroyed my social media. 5 years ago, I've never been in recover. That's why I keep bugging you to subscribe. I keep bugging you to become a member. I keep bugging you to like. Because I was against the regime. I wasn't even against the stick. I wasn't against that. I was against the mandate. That's what I was against. And my social media was destroyed by 90%. Some of you watched it. Missy was there. She remembers. That's how bad it was. I used to get 5,000 views on one platform. All of a sudden, I was on a 500 overnight. 90% reduction. Just like that. Gone. Why gone? Because of guys like him. Because of guys like him. That's the issue. Yes. 100%. Lunatic says, people are programmed against self-sacrifice and failure. We failed and we're better humans because of those experiences. The lens is what? Agreed. It's easy to say that we're better after the failure. It's not easy to say that when you're failing, right? Because it doesn't feel good when you're failing. It's better after. I agree. Look, me getting my ass kicked multiple times in my life has been good for me. You're right. No argument. You're right. I didn't think so then, right? I didn't think so when I was getting my ass kicked. I didn't enjoy that at all. But afterwards, look back. Yeah, you're right. It was better for me. But yeah, yeah. All right, let me grab a couple of these here. All righty. Joel says, Joe Rogan has dangerous people like Larry Sharpe on his podcast, influencing people with ideas of liberty. I know that was bad. He should not have done that. That was a mistake, Joel. That was a mistake. He should not have done that. That was a problem. Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Embarrassing one within seconds of the first person who spoke those words, right?
But they didn't stop,
did they? But you became widely vilified on the left.
Yes.
If you thought that the Wuhan Institute of Virology had anything to do with the origin of COVID.
Yep. Missy was there. She says it. They obliterated Larry's social media during the virus. Correct. Destroyed it. Banned me like there was no tomorrow. It was embarrassing. It wrecked everything. I am literally still trying to recover today. I'm not even joking. And it's been 5 years. Been 5 years. Yes, absolutely.
That, as I pointed out at the time and have pointed out many times since, that was. And
I want to be clear for a minute. On platforms like Facebook, I had 90,000 followers. 90,000 followers. 500 views. I had just run for governor. I used to go on Facebook, do a video, get 5,000 views. That's more like it for 90,000 followers. All of a sudden, I get 500 views. They might go, well, Larry, it's because you all of a sudden suck. Okay, maybe, but then let me look at my subscribers. Oh, still 90,000. Now it's 89,000. I would slowly lose them because no one can see any of my stuff, so people start unsubscribing, of course, right? So now I'm not at 89,000. 90,000. And then I have 500 views. Now, if I suck that bad, my subscribers should have gone down, right? I get it. They should have. It didn't. It's kind of weird. 37,000 followers on YouTube. Used to get thousands of views in every YouTube video. All of a sudden now, a couple hundred. Huh. Why did my subscribers drop? They didn't. Weird how that worked. Yes. Still that way. Has not changed. Still
inscrutable because it does seem politically worse, and even borderline racist to allege that the origin of the virus is.
So I'm going to get past that piece because I want to do something else. You see what he did and how he just says what he says. But the guy who said that, let me see if I can grab this piece real fast. That guy, this is what he also said. There's a couple things that I want to bring up. Let me first bring up he now fights Douglas Murray. You guys, wait a minute. I thought he loved Douglas Murray. No. Sam is an elitist. So he is in theory on Douglas Murray's side. But is he? Well, let me show you. You tell me if you think he's on Douglas Murray's side, if he's on anyone's side besides his own.
I think you have a problem right of center, especially in American politics, which I don't think, I mean, this is I can't say I've heard everything you've said on the subject, but I feel like you are doing a bit of a tightrope walk.
Let me speed him up. He is just he's so damn slow. I want to vomit. So I would rather not vomit on him if I don't have to.
to not acknowledge it because you have a problem that I don't. I mean, your proximity to Trump and Trumpism leaves you with some very inconvenient bedfellows.
He thinks that if you are supportive of Trump, you have a problem. That's what he said. Right? You have a problem I don't have. Oh, okay. What's my problem? You're close to Trump. You like Trump. Oh, that's your problem. I don't have that problem. See, that's a problem. That's a problem. What, 80 million Americans voted for Trump? Yeah.
I mean, the fact that people like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens and Jack Posobiec and Laura Loomer, who apparently gets Oval Office visits and gets to pick who in the national security establishment.
He is so jealous. It's insane. And he doesn't see it. He's such a broken, weak ego person. His kids must be a nightmare. His kids must be a nightmare. Rick says it. It might be terminal TDS. Yes, Rick, thanks for remembering, my friend. I think you're right. He is literally the poster child for it. Poster child for it. Yes. Everything is about Trump. All about it. Oh, we'll go further.
It gets fired up to the head of the NSA, right? I mean, it is just a funhouse of grifters and ghouls and conspiracy.
And conspiracy, right? Who says that? All right, now, the reason why I say that is, why did I show you that? Because this is him now. This is him again. This is a couple years ago. Or was it last year? It was last year, I believe. Talking about, believe it or not, Trump and the laptop and all that kind of good stuff. Yes, some of you knew about this. You did. And you knew I was going to show it. And here he is on trigonometry.
Square, then it is law. Now, you're arguing it's not the public square, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
Right? That's fine.
Yeah,
Look, why don't we move on? Because I think we've done enough.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
He's sucked up a lot of it.
He's got a habit of doing that.
Yeah, no, but I'll just say, just finally, I do, again,
This is what he says here.
it's like a coin toss for me, the Hunter Biden.
All right, Rick, you said that he might have terminal TDS. Okay. He's going to prove that you are correct right here.
Laptop thing, because I do understand how corrosive it is for an institution like the New York Times to show obvious bias and inconsistency and dishonesty in how it's like they couldn't even.
And he's admitting that they did. He's literally saying that they did. Okay, here we go.
Frame it honestly. It's not like it's like the way I would frame it is, listen, I don't care what's in Hunter Biden's. I mean, Hunter Biden at that point, Hunter Biden literally could have had the corpses of children in his basement. I would not have cared. Right?
Did you hear what he just said? What he just said. You might go, he's joking. Oh, he's not. He's going to keep going. This isn't like he goes, ha, 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 I'm exaggerating. That's a terrible joke, which would be okay if he had said that. If he had just said, I'm kidding. It's a bad joke. It still would have been a bad joke, but at least we could get, okay, he's joking. He's not joking. Yes, he just said he wouldn't have cared if Hunter Biden had the bodies of dead children in his basement. He said that. He said that. You just said someone check Sam's basement today, like right now. Let's go over there and check it. You are correct. Yes, that's what he just said.
Right. It's like there's nothing. First of all, it's Hunter Biden, right? It's not Joe Biden. But even if Joe Biden, like even
okay, now you would thought, okay, well, his point is it's not Joe Biden, it's Hunter. Oh, but he's gonna go right back to Joe right now. He's going back to Joe right now. Straight and over on Rumble says trigonometry couldn't sanewash him. He is terminal. Love the show, Larry. Yes, they couldn't do it. They were probably trying to. They couldn't. They couldn't do it. There was no way. They just couldn't do it. Yes, but here we go.
Whatever scope of Joe Biden's corruption is, like,
so he admits Joe Biden's corrupt. He says it. He says whatever level of corruption it is, whatever it is, right?
If we could just go down that rabbit hole endlessly and understand that he's getting kickbacks from Hunter Biden's deals in Ukraine or wherever.
He's admitting it. Straight and you are correct, my friend. Thank you for the $5, by the way. Yes, You can't sane wash this guy. He is unsane washable. Is that a word? It is now. I've just made it. Because he spends a lot of time saying, you fools. A lot of time saying that. That's a common thing he says. Yes.
Else, right? Or China. It is infinitesimal compared to the corruption we know Trump is involved in. It's like,
see that? That's the issue. Trump is way worse, I guess, but he's going to tell us why. Tell us why. He's worse than, literally, again, his words, dead children in the basement and getting kickbacks from Ukraine that he said Joe Biden's doing.
it's like a firefly to the sun, right? I mean, like there's just, it doesn't even stack up against Trump University.
Right? Trump University, a business, by the way, that people voluntarily joined. Now, it was a garbage university, that's true, but that people voluntarily joined, took no taxpayer dollars, none. It was one of his little scam businesses, is what it was. True, like Trump Steaks or Trump Water or whatever, that the same stuff he always does. He slapped his name on some garbage and people bought it. Common thing, people do it all the time. I get it. I'm not saying it's a good university. It wasn't. But he thinks that Trump, he said it, Trump University, a business that people voluntarily went to, that he did put money in and gambled on and won clearly and then lost because of the lawsuit. But that's nowhere near as bad. I mean, that's way worse. I'm sorry. Way worse than dead children in the basement. He did say that. Way worse than the president or vice president of the United States getting kickbacks from Ukraine that kicked off a war that has at least 1 million casualties, if not more. You know what's worse? Trump University. That's what he just said. No such thing as TDS, right? No such thing as TDS. No such thing. Poster child.
Right. Trump University as a story is worse than anything that could be in Hunter Biden's laptop, in my view, right?
Anything.
Now that doesn't answer.
Let's not just check Sam's basement. Let's not just do that, user. Let's also check his laptop. Both.
For the people who say it's still completely unfair to not have looked at the laptop in a timely way and to have shut down the New York Post's Twitter account like that. That's just a conspiracy. That's a left-wing conspiracy to deny the presidency to Donald Trump.
Yes,
absolutely.
And he hates conspiracies,
absolutely,
right?
It was absolutely
what,
right? But I think it was warranted, right?
Oh, see, John, this is the problem. This is what you're not getting, John. You're sitting there talking, you're not getting it. Okay, let me clear it up for you. If you disagree with what Sam Harris says, then your conspiracy theory is wrong, evil, and, quote, dangerous. All right? But if you agree with Sam, it's reasonable. Totally reasonable. Nobody said, what was the word phrase he used? Hold on. What phrase did he use?
Absolutely, it was. Absolutely.
And?
Right.
And?
But I think it was warranted. Right.
It's warranted. It's warranted. All right, Phil? So enough with your stuff about Trump University, okay? This is warranted because Sam says so.
Right. And again, it's a coin toss as to whether or not
Sam, I'm sorry.
That particular piece.
I'm really sorry. I was the one that said we should move on, but you've just said something I really struggle with there, which is...
Okay, help us out.
The kids in the basement?
He laughs at the kids in the basement. Okay, Phil, call the cops, get over, check his basement, because he's laughing at it right now. You're right. User, you were right. We got to check his basement, check his laptop. We got to check it all. This guy's a problem.
No. Fuck the kids in the basement. I'm interested in democracy. You're saying you are content with a left-wing conspiracy to prevent somebody being democratically re-elected as president.
Well, no, I'm content. Well, but the thing is, it's just not left-wing, right? So
see, it's not left-wing. If it was left-wing super weapons, then it'd be a problem. It's not left-wing. See, that's what it is. See, super weapon says Sam's capping makes him want to drop the N-word on bro. Like what? Yeah. See, you're not getting it, super weapons. It's because it's not left-wing. See, if it was left-wing, that's a problem. Why don't you guys pay attention? What are you saying?
Liz Cheney is not left wing, right?
See, Liz Cheney said it's okay. Done and done. Lunatics say morons speak. No, Liz Cheney said it's okay. All right? You guys can't get with the program. You can't get with the program. Liz Cheney says it's okay. Therefore, it's not left wing. And if it's not left wing, now the conspiracy is warranted. See that? It's warranted. That's the issue. It's warranted. There we go. Whew, I feel better now already.
Liz Cheney is doing everything in her power
to prevent somebody being democratically
it's not but there's nothing conspiracy. It's not. It was a conspiracy.
This guy, boy, he is spinning right now. He's spinning around. Didn't he spend the entire time before talking about how crazy conspiracy theorists, and that's why Dave Smith is bad and stupid, and that's why Joe Rogan's bad and stupid, and that's why Lex Fridman's bad and stupid, because they let conspiracy theorists on and conspiracy. Then what he just said. Didn't we just see like an hour of that? And now he's like, well, no. My conspiracy is fine, right? And that's good, because it's warranted, because Liz Cheney said so. I was unsure. Now I know. I didn't know who validates conspiracies. It's Liz Cheney. That's it. Jericho was in the house. How are you, Jericho? I'll take conspiracy theories that turn out to be true for $500, please, Alex. And you would win a lot of money. You would win a lot of money, Jericho. Yes. But just make sure we know, if Liz Cheney says it, it is therefore warranted. She decides on what's warranted. I'm glad I know now. I'll give her a call.
Out in the open, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't matter what part's conspiracy.
It doesn't matter. Why are you guys worrying about what's legal and not? Dave, you and all your like constitutional rights and stuff. Please.
What part's out in the open? I mean, I think it's like, if people get together and talk about what should we do about this phenomenon.
Yeah, that would be called a conspiracy. Yes, correct.
You know, if it's like, if there was an asteroid hurtling toward Earth,
yeah,
and we got in a room together with all of our friends and had a conversation about what we could do to deflect its course, right?
Okay.
Is that a conspiracy? You know, like some of that conversation would be in public, some of it would be in private. We have a massive problem. We have an.
Okay. Did he just say Trump was an asteroid? He said that, didn't he? Okay, it wasn't me, right? Okay, here we go. Texas Spy Historian is over on Rumble when he says, what's the Constitution among friends? Clearly a worthless piece of paper is what that would be. That's what that would be. A worthless piece of paper is what that would be. I think I've answered your question, Texas Spy Historian. Yes, I think I have. Yes, that's what it would be. But he said, if we talked about how to stop the meteor, okay.
Existential threat, right?
Yeah.
Politically speaking, I consider Trump an existential threat to our democracy.
Wow.
Right now, he's not going to destroy the world.
He's not.
Very likely.
If he destroyed democracy in the process of protecting democracy.
No, but that doesn't destroy it. No,
Okay, go ahead.
What I'm not suggesting, at no point was I suggesting we should stuff ballots or actually break the machine.
No, we shouldn't stuff ballots. We should just completely and utterly end free speech. That's what we should do. And treat Trump like he's the end of the world and just get rid of him. That's what he's saying. He's not saying stuff ballots. That will be bad. But destroying the Bill of Rights, that's fine. It's destroy it. It's fine. It's fine.
Machinery of democracy. But the political opinion is already being just completely inundated with misinformation, biased takes, half-truths, and outright lies, right? Like, and
so why don't we just add conspiracies that you decide, if only you and Liz Cheney ran everything, then we'd all be
or just
good.
The amplification of bad or misleading information based on, the algorithm, right?
See, that's what it is.
So it's already just an abattoir of opinion, right? And now the question is, what can you do with your own biases and your own to get the outcome you think is actually better, not just for yourself personally, but for the world, right? So
but they kind of did, right? People voted, or some people didn't vote. They said, I don't care, but some voted. That's what they did. So they did exactly what you're supposed to do. See, I'm gonna say something crazy here. Something crazy. if you think that someone is a better or worse candidate, you could use your platform and explain why someone's a better or worse candidate. You could do that. I mean, maybe I'm nuts, but you could.
I have like, I'm completely unconflicted in the claim.
What's the claim?
That a first Trump term was bad and a second Trump term would be bad. And it literally doesn't matter what else was on the menu. Like literally, pick a random American better than Trump in the Oval Office. Like the likelihood that you're going to get someone who's worse than Trump, given what I consider is bad about Trump, is, I mean, it's on the order of 1 in a million, right? Like you're not going to get.
So his answer is because Trump, anybody else. Because Trump, anybody else. You could have assisted in fixing a system that was worse. Dave has a good point. A third Trump term would be worse. You're not wrong, Dave. Let's hope that does not happen. I do not want a third term. I mean, I don't mind third terms for presidents. I actually don't mind that. I don't mind going 3 terms. I don't. But that would mean that he did a constitutional issue. So yeah, that's why I won't. I don't care if presidents go 3 terms. I don't. Anyway, I'm not saying I don't want term limits, but 3 terms is fine. Why? Anyway, we could instead have just had better candidates. We could have instead just had a better system. We could have had all those things, but we didn't. And he's like, well, I'm an elitist, so that's it. There we go. So that liberal lady says, I remember when it was a conspiracy theory that ivermectin worked when he took it. They told everyone that he took horse dewormer. I remember that. That was terrible. Yes, I remember that. That was terrible. Yes, correct. So it's kind of bad. Anyway, so the point I want to bring up here, I'm going to grab a couple more comments this evening if I could. And before I go to the comments, I want to grab a bunch of them. But before I go there, guys, click the button known as Lima India Kilo Echo. Please do so. If you have not shared it someplace, share it. It's the only way I'm going to grow. Share it. If you enjoy what I'm talking about, please keep sharing it. It really does matter, right? This part is important. If you share it, more people will see it. And if more people see it, we got a shot at growing. And that's really what I want. So I want to grow. Please do this if we can. All right, let me keep going here if I could. If you can follow me on Facebook, that'd be awesome. X and Rumble, also great. Let me get down some comments if I can. All right. Missy says, I shall sane wash the Wokescold. You get it. Nice. You get it. That's good. Phil says, oh, Sam, narcissist Harris sees himself. Does he, though? I'm not sure he does. I don't think he does at all. Yeah. Gray says, if the Alphabet News had a patron saint, it'd be this guy. True. Yes. True. Oh, Rick said like an hour ago, he said, Sam Harris said covering up Hunter Biden being a mass murderer of children should be covered up to stop Trump. And I just showed that. You're right. You said it an hour ago. Sorry, I missed this one. But yes, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Super Weapon says, Dunning-Kruger on photo display, making AOC look sane. I'm not sure because Sam is actually very knowledgeable and smart. I'm not sure. If that, I mean, close, but yeah. But look, if I got to pick between him and AOC, I'll take AOC. If those are my own 2 choices, I'll go with AOC over this guy. So yeah, I hope it's not my own 2 choices. It'd be terrible. Joel says, I trolled the person who tried to say J.D. Vance ended the Pope. I told him Trump, as king, will select the next Pope, and it will be a MAGA Pope. That's amazing. Could you imagine that? That would be amazing. Yes, absolutely. So Phil says, Joe Rogan actually scored a pretty big hit when he asked Donald Trump to explain why he thought the election was stolen. And Trump didn't really have anything to say. Sam is not truthful. Correct. Sam is just mad. And the worst part about it is you can see Sam is just jealous. He is, his ego is very bruised. He wants everyone to know how smart he is. He wants everyone to listen to him. He wants everyone to do as he says. To be forward, Phil, he honestly believes that he knows what's better for you. I know I'm teasing when I say it, but he honestly believes it. He's like, yeah, I know it's better for you. Phil, shut up and do what I say. I'm right. Right? I'm right. Do as I say. I'm smarter than you. I'm better. He honestly believes it. I think that's the key, right? Yeah. Anyway, that's the part that I think is interesting, is that he does really believe it. Andrea says, I guess I'm insane then. Better than not having an open mind for different opinions. Yeah. Mastermind says, Sam's echo chamber is cedar lined with crystal chandelier and a Pac-Man arcade machine, but he refuses to use the fire exit door. Cute. Look at that. I like that. But I think him and Cedar don't get along anymore, because he's so much of an elitist that even Sam Cedar's mad at him. I'm not joking. Is he a Wokescold? Is he a Neocon? Yes. Is he an Israeli firster? Yes. Why? Because that's what elites think. That's the reason why. Not because he actually thought this through, not because he has a reason to be any of those things, because the elites believe that. And therefore he does, because he's elite. I'm smarter than you, so therefore do as I say. And I'm a neocon when I need to be. I'm Israeli first when I need to be. I'm a Slav Ukrainian when I need to be. I'm a leftist when I need to be. I'm a Wokescold when I need to be. I'm a neocon when I need to be. I'm elite, and I'm right. He literally said to Doug Murray, who he praised as the greatest historian on the planet, you've got a problem because you're next to Trump. That's a problem I don't have. That's what he said. So he's any of those things. He's any of those things. Yes. So, all righty. I will grab a cup of me. Missy says, use the join button on YouTube, your desktop to become a member. Yes. That's a good idea. Yes. That is a good idea. 100%. So, user says, hey, she was shot at by Willie Brown. How many times? I mean, we don't know. We don't know. I'm going to walk away from that because we don't know how long that would have been. Dave says, Larry and Forsey, if Trump ended up in trouble, some Trumpicans would have rioted and took it out on Democrats. Possibly true. I'm not saying that's wrong, but he's saying if Trump lost the election, that they would have taken it out on her. I'm not sure that's accurate. Now, might they have done another J day before 7? Maybe. That's possible. Sure, that's possible. But it doesn't mean they would have tried to take her out. I'm not saying that's true. Maybe, but I don't think there's any evidence to believe that the outcome would have been a direct assault against the other. I don't think there's evidence of that. Might they have somehow rioted? Yeah, maybe. I think that's possibly true. Sure. I mean, they did before. Maybe. Also depends on what Trump would have done. Would Trump have accepted it? Would he have not accepted it? What would he have done? I think that would have mattered also. So yeah, absolutely. But I don't think it's that clear. So Jericho says, it's a podcast, not Face the Nation. Maybe Harris should have stepped up her podcast game. True. That is my exact point, Jericho. That's my exact point. Yes. She had the option. They all would have taken her. She decided no, and somehow it's their fault. What should have happened is both go on, and then people decide. That's what could have happened easily. Yes. Absolutely. John, Larry, this is the kind of content that Douglas Murray was warning us about on JRE. True. Stellene, how are you? Thank you for being a member. I can't believe people are still talking about Harris. She was an embarrassment. I would have voted Dem again if Kennedy had a chance. I think if Kennedy had actually run in the primary, he had a chance at the presidency. If he'd run, there's a chance. I'm not saying he would have won, but I think there's a chance. Harris had no chance. Kennedy actually, if he would have run the primary, assuming Kennedy would have run the primary, and assuming he would have won the primary, I'm not sure he could have run the primary. But if he would have won the primary, he would have had a chance at beating Trump. He might have beat Trump. Harris was never going to beat Trump. Biden was never going to beat Trump. Maybe Kennedy would have. I don't know. I don't know that, obviously, but I think at least there would have been a chance for it to happen. Who knows what would have happened for sure? But there was a chance. There was no chance of Biden or Harris beating Trump. None. 100%. So, yes, I do appreciate that. All righty. As the thing goes on to say, yeah, the Democratic Party messed up big time. Correct. All they had to do was run a primary, and they had a chance of beating Trump. The chance existed if they ran a primary, because they would have either got a much better candidate who would have a chance, or Harris would have had to do a magical reboot of herself and somehow become a better candidate. I mean, she's a terrible candidate, but either would have happened. Either she would have become a great candidate, option one, or they would have got a better candidate, which means they would have had a chance to win. That's it. But yeah. Michael says, until you're ready to admit you have a problem, recovery is impossible. True. Sarah goes on to say, thank you for being a member, Sarah, and recovery is still very difficult, even when you know your problem. Also true. 100% true. But you've got to try, to make that happen. You got to try. Rob is over on Instagram. He says, will Kennedy run the next cycle? I don't know. My gut says that if Trump has a bad 4 years, he might bail on Trump and do it himself. I could see that. If Trump has a good 4 years, I think he'll say, look, I was part of this greatness, and whatever Republican runs, he'll say, I'll back you if you keep me in the HHS. That is what I think will happen. Rob, I think it depends upon how good Trump's 4 years are. If Trump ends on a negative, if like the economy crashes and his stuff doesn't work, if he doesn't get peace in the Middle East, doesn't get peace in Ukraine, if none of those things work that he's trying to get and things go badly, I think Kennedy might bail and say, I could have fixed this and then run. I could see that. If Trump does well at the end of his 4 years, the economy's rocking and rolling, he's made peace in the Middle East and in Ukraine, I think whoever Trump picks as successor is just too powerful. That would be my gut. And he would make a deal with that person, J.D. Vance or whomever is the successor. He'd make a deal with him and say, look, I'll back you. I'll endorse you. You got to keep me as HHS. That's what I think will happen. That's what my gut says. I have no inside information. That is just what I believe to be happening. So just so you're clear. All righty, let me keep going down here. User says, didn't Joe offer Harris to come on the show, but she wanted the structure of the show changes for her? Correct. Yeah, he wanted her to come on. He would have. Who wouldn't want to have the presidential candidates on the show? I would have, of course. I mean, obviously, they want to come on my show. If they want to come on my show, I'd have flown to DC. I don't care. I would have. Joe said, come to my place, right? Because he's Joe Rogan. Guy like me, I will go wherever you are. You happen to be in Alaska that week, and I can see you for a half hour in Alaska. I'm flying to Alaska. Of course I am, right? Joe's the heavy hitter, though. You got to come to him. And Trump said, okay, I'll come to you. And Harris went, and she lost. Yes, absolutely. So, all right, let me keep grabbing here again. Stelline goes on to say, thank you for being a member, Stelline. Joe puts on a ton of MMA fighters, probably more than any other. How dare him? I don't like MMA, so he shouldn't do it. Yeah, look, the reality is you really want, look, he should do as he sees fit. He's successful. Good for you, right? I'm not mad. Do I want his audience? Of course, I'd love to have 12 million people watch my show. Of course, I'd love that, right? The difference is I'm not mad at him for it. And I don't think that I'm somehow better than him or whatever. You can see how Sam lives so far up his own ass, Sam Harris, that he can't even see how insanely bitter and jealous he is and how it comes across. He literally can't see it. That is how bad it is. He can't see it. Yes. All righty. Lunatic says, the mirror, the man in the mirror. Michael was correct. Yeah. Absolutely. So, all righty. If I can keep going down here. Phil says, all you need to do is get taken over by one of those hackers. It seems like every other day my Facebook short is taken over by some hackers putting dirty pictures in their story feature. Ooh, dirty pictures. I like that. Let's do some dirty pictures. Does it be mine? Can be someone else's. We'll see. Michael says, copium overdose. Copying like there's no tomorrow. Coping like there's no tomorrow. Yes. So much cope. Oh my God. Yes. All righty. Grab a couple more of these. Rick says, but misinformation is good and desirable in service of combating the evil Trump. Correct. Then it's fine. Yes. Remember something, Rick. As long as he and Liz Cheney agree, it's all good. That's all that matters. Him and Liz Cheney agree, then it's good. No worries. That's all that matters. Just make sure that happens. Yeah. Jericho says, does this guy hear himself? He calls everyone dangerous, but it's rhetoric like existential threat to the world that may have prompted someone to assault Trump twice. Correct. That is my point. He talked about dangerous, yet the guy who got attacked twice is the guy he's been talking about. Yes. Yes. It's crazy. Midwest Mixes says, Alberta says they will join the U.S. if Carney wins prime minister election. What are your thoughts? I'm on board. I'm from Missouri. If somebody wants to voluntarily join America, come on board. I hope that's true. That'd be amazing. I hope it's true. I mean, I hope so. Let them come. We'll take extra states. I don't mind. I like this idea. So, yes. Minor Threat says he is pseudo-intellectual neocon scum. That's not a bad one. That's not bad. I could see that. I could definitely, that's not a bad description. I'll buy. Yes. Yep. Grace says, you are being shadow banned on Facebook again for me. You must be hitting nerves, Larry. Yeah, once I started growing, then they start banning again, right? They just start banning again. They keep doing it. They just keep doing it. So, yeah. K. John says, Larry, off topic, but you see the Maha press event today? I posted the link on Facebook trying to notify you. It was awesome. Oh, I didn't. All right, I got to check that out. I missed it. I missed it. I got to check it out. I appreciate that. I got to check it out. I do appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yes. All righty. Brett says, wrong. We aren't going anywhere without Indigenous endorsement. It's a non-starter from a Canadian Alberta. Well, there we go. Look, all I'm saying is if Canadians don't want to become Americans, great. They shouldn't. If Canadians want to become Americans, wonderful. Welcome. It's that simple. I don't think we should be aggressive against them. I don't think we should do anything like that. I don't like this trade war stuff. I can't stand it. All I'm saying is if they want to come, awesome. Love to have them. If they don't, that's okay too. Right? Brett, I'm good either way. What the people want, they should do. That is what I'm saying. That's what matters to me. So, any case, guys, I want to say again, please click the button known as like. I know I bug you constantly. Please do so. If you haven't already, you need to share this wherever you can possibly share this. It is important. If you become a member, you can do that at $49 per month on YouTube. Membership matters for several reasons. Number one, I'm doing a membership show. I think it's going to be May 2nd. I will put that out soon. What does that mean? If you're a member, you can actually come on the show with me. I've done 3 so far. I'm doing another one. I think May 2nd. I'm not sure yet what date. It'll be in that area. You'll actually come on the show with me and we'll all talk about something. I'll make up a topic and we'll chat. You get to be part of the panel. And then people see you and then your face. So when they see you, they go, oh, that's the guy, that's the gal, that's her, that's him. So that'll be kind of cool if we can do that. Also, members can submit reaction vids. Tomorrow, I will be reacting to Gary Stevenson because a member asked me to. So members can submit reaction videos for me to react to. Happy to do that also if you want to. That's always a good thing, right? If you can do that, that's going to make it good for you and everybody else. I'd love the reaction videos. I don't care what they're on, by the way. You can put it on anything. I don't care. Whatever you want. He talks about taxing the rich. It's fine. Talk to that. But whatever it is, it does not matter either way. Remember something though. The new algorithm. After the live, please come back after it's over and post a comment. I'm going to ask you, please, if you would post what you thought of the Dave Smith, Doug Murray place. If you saw it, if you didn't, what did you think of Sam's reaction? Either one. What did you think of Doug versus Dave? If you didn't see it, what did you think of what Sam, how he talked about it? Either one of those, please put it in there. Say what you thought. I will respond. The more you say, the more YouTube likes it. So please do that if you would. And if you're watching this and it's not live, like you're watching it later on, as soon as this is done, please watch one of the videos that should be popping up where my hands are afterwards within a day or so. I will be on tomorrow. I will see you all very soon.